Hey, what's up, guys? My name's Daniel. This is solum.algo, and today we're going to be taking a second look at the DaffiOne wallet and what they have planned. I just got off a few hours ago with the team and the people over at CoinStore on an AMA. Of course, it wasn't just me. It was a lot of people there, but DaffiOne talked about what they have planned and what's up and coming, and they answered a few questions, and we all had a good time. And there was a lot of interesting stuff that came out of that. And today I want to give you guys 3 cool things about the DaffiOne project and 3 cautions I would leave you with about this project. So let's get started. So the first thing that I would tell you is that this is a really neat project because they are going to be one of the early wallets to offer a digital ID, a KYC'd digital ID, where you can upload your passport or your legal documents showing who you are and facial ID and so forth, to put your digital wallet, your Algorand wallet, your AVAX wallet, your Base wallet, whatever, into the traditional finance system so that you can spend it at retailers. And that's a really incredible innovation. And what's really cool about this, though, is that they allow you to separate KYC'd and non-KYC'd wallets. So if you have wallets that you're using for long-term crypto investing and you file those taxes through another way so that you stay legal, or maybe you're off the grid and this is none of my business, maybe you're outside the system and you don't report that information. The Daffy wallet gives you the option to use their wallet and keep those accounts separate. So that is a really neat innovation in DaffiOne, and I'm actually very much looking forward to that because I think that's been a holdup in crypto, that it's not seamless or easy to just go spend your crypto earnings somewhere. So the ability to do that would be really a nice change, and that will also bring in hopefully retailers that will actually be earning in USDC, in EURD, in other stables, and so forth. So first thing to really be looking forward to, first cool thing. The next thing is the Daffy security. Daffy want to talk to the guys in a private chat on the A200 chat rather on X about their security, and the claim that was made is that their security is as reliable, if not more reliable, than, say, having a ledger device. I'm skeptical about that until audits come out and we can read the reviews of a professional. The Daffy wallet is secured by placing the private keys in your secure chip within your phone and encrypting them. And I think they said there's a double encryption even that's broken. And I'm not technical enough to understand if that is better than a ledger or not. My understanding has always been that you want an air-gapped device to sign. But that'll bring me to one of my caution things here in a minute. The next cool thing about Daffy is how their tokenomics works. And so my question in the AMA was, how do you manage putting out basically what amounts to credit card reward points, right, to people when there's a hard cap of 200 million tokens? Because what if you have sudden mass adoption, right? And all of these people are spending using their Daffy wallet and retailers receiving on a Daffy wallet. And they're all getting 1% cash back, and that token is just consumed really fast through 1% cashback rewards. How do you manage that? You run out of tokens and you have nothing else to reward? Well, the team answered this. Basically, the token floats on price, and you're not rewarded at a fixed rate. like you would be with reward points, where $1 equals, 1 point, if you will, right? And, an airline ticket is 10,000 points or something, okay? It's not a fixed rate with DeFi because it's on the open market. So if the price of the token goes up due to increased demand, then you will actually be rewarded less DeFi, even though it's still 1% in dollar amount, in spending amount, right? So that it makes it very dynamic in the way that it's submitted, and then it will also encourage redemption of those tokens back into the system, hopefully to level out the price, and so that they can continue rewarding those tokens. So that is a really interesting mechanism, vastly different than, say, a credit card rewards point system, where you're given a fixed amount of points for every dollar, and it's basically pegged at a certain set amount, and they can emit as many points as they want and then value them to you however they want. It's really on the open market system. For me, that's incredible. That's maybe one of the most optimistic things about this project, and it makes me very excited. Now, on to the things that I would caution everyone about with this project, but really with a lot of new projects. And the first one is that nobody has reviewed their code yet. And typically with a wallet, it is traditionally understood that a more secure wallet is one that is open source, that has been heavily audited by a lot of developers, that's been scrutinized and critiqued, and that is heavily used by a lot of people. And that is typically considered to be good practice in the crypto space. Now you have Ledger, and Ledger, I want to say I don't understand it all. I'm not technical enough for this, but some of their Ledger software is audited. Not all of it is audited. And I want to say that it's like their firmware is what they don't let people audit, I think. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So, it's you take risk no matter who you're with, right, to some extent. Daffy says they're working really hard on the security. I think for everybody, I would tell you to be cautiously optimistic. To me, that means I will probably, instead of using an older wallet with Daffy, open a new wallet and transfer a little bit of funds and use the wallet and see how you like it. I wouldn't make it my daily driver probably for a long time, until it's battle tested, right? Until you have a lot of other users, until you have audits come out, or some professional who's reviewed the codes and given their opinion on what the wallet does and how it works and how secure they think it is. All of these things are important when you as an individual are looking at, how do I secure my funds that I've worked so hard for, right? And, I'm maybe a bit jaded, having come from the MyAlgo hack world a few years back, and the Ledger device is the only thing that saved my butt, and also saved my father, who is also in Algorand, but not active. He's just a holder. But neither of us lost funds because we had set up a ledger months prior to the MyAlgo hack, and we used all of our funds through a ledger. And so I have firsthand experience to being saved. Daffy does not yet integrate with Ledger, but they have said that in the future they will integrate with Ledger. So things, to be cautiously optimistic about. I'm not saying don't use it. I'm saying that with any new piece of software coming out, test it, see what the professionals say, see what others say, and then make your own judgment on if you think that's a risk that you're ready to take, and with how much of your funds you want to put on that. For me, I have a multi-tiered setup for my crypto security. I have a Tangem wallet, And with my Tangent wallet, it's got 3 separate cards, and the keys, the private keys, are on the card. They are never exposed to the open. I never see them even. I can't write them down. I have 3 separate cards that secure those. If I lost all 3 of those cards, I would not be able to recover my funds. But that is my long-term Bitcoin holding, and that's the mechanism I've chosen. And then I have a ledger device that I use for liquidity pools on Algorand mostly. I have a lot of funds there that I hold on chain. And then I have what you would say is a hot wallet or a software wallet. I like DeFi right now. I use them the most. I keep some funds there, but not nearly as much funds as I keep on the other 2 wallets because it's exposed to the internet. Right now, I would treat DaffiOne like a hot wallet, unless you get a code release or something that says, I can trust this perhaps more than other wallets, right? So that's another thing to be cautiously optimistic about. Second, I would say the token, let's see, the token is good. I think like all signs point to the DaffiOne token being potentially a good investment long term. And that comes with the caveat that launching a payment app, which is really what this is, because the goal of DaffiOne is not to be just a crypto wallet. And if you were on the AMA, you would see this. The goal of DaffiOne is to be a payment provider, and they're mostly targeting emerging markets where banking fees are really outrageous, and credit card fees and so forth are really, really outrageous, and upwards of 5% in some cases. And what they're doing is they're taking and they're dropping those fees for merchants by up to 90%, depending on the market. And they're lowering fees and then giving great rewards through the DaffiOne token, and also just a really streamlined peer-to-peer interface. So instead of going through an intermediary, like I run a business and we use Stripe, and in that Stripe account, our money comes in and Stripe holds it for a period of time before they release it to us. And then they also charge nearly 3% to our business. And that's really a lot for a business. It hurts, right? It's something that we have to raise our prices. In fact, we recently did raise our prices because we adopted Stripe. So moving to the DaffiOne wallet, which maybe is something that we can do at some point, that my business could do, but moving to the DaffiOne wallet creates a peer-to-peer, so instant transmission of funds, right? Like we all enjoy on crypto. And obviously, if it's on Algorand, it's going to be 2.7 seconds. So before you can walk away from the register, the merchant already has the funds in their DaffiOne wallet, and that's really awesome. However, there are a lot of switching costs when it comes to a payment app. And what that means is that you have thousands and thousands, millions of merchants around the world. And they all have their payment providers. They have their bank accounts set up. And those bank accounts take funds and they pay their providers, their wholesalers. They pay all of their employees through these bank accounts, and they have these systems set up. And it's a big moving machine. And for a merchant to switch providers is a huge ordeal. It's quite difficult to then say, okay, well, now my money's coming into this Daffy wallet, and will my wholesalers, will my food providers, will my employees accept payment from the Daffy wallet, or have I added another layer of complexity now, where I have to work with my traditional bank and get them to take my funds from my Daffy wallet, And then will that work in my country? Does my country allow transmission of those funds? And so there's all these steps that a retailer, that a merchant would have to consider when adopting a new payment provider, like DaffiOne. And then also on the retail side, you have a lot of the same concerns. So everybody has, their bank account set up. They have their favorite credit card. I think it's going to be an easier switch for the retail side to go, okay, well, it's a new payment app. That's easy for me to understand, right? On my phone, I've got Venmo, I've got Zelle, I've got PayPal, I've got my bank accounts. Like, I've got lots of options as a retailer. Adding DaffiOne would not be a big deal, but there is still a hurdle to overcome there, in order to get retail users to accept that this is a new payment method, that I like it, that it works better for me, that I get cheaper prices, that I get good rewards, right? There is a sale there to be made. And of course, we're in crypto. We're always excited about trying out new things. I mean, I think that's one of the great things about the space is we're really on the cutting edge of everything going on in tech and finance. And we love trying out all the new stuff. The average user won't necessarily be so eager. They're focused on other things, their job and their family and their house and, social groups and all sorts of stuff that they do every day. And they don't necessarily care about this the way we do. So it will be a difficult sale. And so all that to say is that the DaffiOne token definitely has the potential to take off if they get the retail adoption and the merchant adoption the way they're planning to become really this giant payment app. The DaffiOne token will be huge. You could really have millions of people using this wallet all over Asia, all over Africa, all over South America. You really could have mass adoption in all of these places where banking is difficult. And look, guys, I have a foreign bank account. It's a pain in the butt. Like, some places it's easy to open a bank account. I hear Americans complain about banking, and sometimes banking in America is a pain. Go open a bank account in Ecuador. I had to move money from one bank to another in Ecuador, and not to hate on Ecuador, it's a great place, but banking some places is a nightmare. I had to have the bank teller at one bank go over to my other bank, 20-minute walk up the road with me, took her name badge off, and then threatened the teller at the other bank that I owed her money and they had to transfer my funds today. And the only reason the other bank didn't want to transfer my funds is because it was the end of the month and it was going to hurt their books. So peer-to-peer transactions on an app like the DaffiOne, it could be absolutely huge. And when we say in crypto that we're taking on the central bankers, this is the kind of stuff that does it. You're cutting out all the intermediaries. You don't need any of these people, any of the layers. I mean, DaffiOne is looking at killing a lot of jobs with their app, and in a good way, right? Because you don't want jobs that are unnecessary, that cause friction in the marketplace. And I do hope those, obviously those people, I don't want them to be jobless. I want them to go on to do bigger and better things in new markets, right? To learn new things and new ways of doing things, right? Because it's creative destruction. Always in the markets, innovation is creative destruction, and that is what DaffiOne is doing. I'm really excited about the project. Of course, remember the cautions that I gave you. Always test things. Always use a little bit of funds. Wait for the audits to come out, right? But definitely check this thing out. Use it, and guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Thanks. Bye.